Yo, what's up guys? Apologies for the delay there. I hope my mic and everything is okay. I did have a small issue just before we went live here, but everything does look good now. Guys, when you are getting in, make sure you're dropping your comments, saying hello, and all of that amazing stuff. You guys know I love seeing your questions, all that good stuff. You know I'm going to go into them already. Guys, it has been a very interesting day. We've had some developments that I think are going to be very important for the whole trend with Bitcoin, especially in the short/mid term, probably not for the long term. But guys, sorry for banging my mic there. Before I even go into any of that, guys, I was looking at the live page of this stream before I went live, and I saw that there were already 13 people, maybe 15, waiting and watching just a blank screen saying waiting for 4 flies or starting in 5 minutes. And I thought that was amazing. I mean, that's just a next level show of support from fans, which I've never had before. So huge shout out to you guys. I think that was pretty cool. Yeah, you don't have to wait, but if you did, it clearly means you're quite eager to get my thoughts, and that does mean a lot. It means a lot to know that you guys value what I put out, because it does take a lot of my time, it does take a lot of my effort. Pretty much my whole life revolves around Crypto Mafia right now. I'm not even going to school, so I am putting a lot into this, but enough of, talking about why I put in work. Guys, since yesterday we have been seeing more of the same with Bitcoin's trend. So, I mean, we had, a bit of a dump down to the 6600s. That was after I said I've closed my short, so that was a bit annoying. But, I did put in this alert that I am looking to put in a short again if we do rise up to previous levels. Mark, nice chatting with you as well. Great to see you here. Yeah, welcome guys. Great to see all of you. I mean, lots of comments here. This is just amazing. You guys are amazing. But yeah, so we had a bit of a dump, and then we bought it up. So these regular bot patterns, it fits bot's head. We went right up, all manipulation, all bots trying to liquidate positions, completely normal as we have come to expect now. But guys, what is quite interesting today is that we got another test of that crucial 6800 line, which we're seeing right here. So I am on the 1 hour chart. Let's see how this looks on the 4 hour real quick. So I mean, yeah, it's a bit less clear. It's not as good of a chart to look at right now. 1 hour is definitely the way to go, but bear in mind, it's using shorter time frames like this is typically not a great idea. I'd say anything below 4 hours I generally stay away from. You guys don't see me going on this 1 hour chart very often, but this is applicable to what we've seen yesterday. And guys, I did mention this yesterday, where we could see this test here, a second test, and range a little bit, and then a third test. That's exactly how I put it yesterday, and guys, exactly that happened. I kind of expected it, but I didn't want to say it officially just because it's a weird thing. It's a very specific thing to call out. And so if it doesn't happen, which was quite likely that it wouldn't happen, I'd look kind of weird for calling that out. But alas, it did happen, so that's pretty cool. And it's really important because, a triple top, I mean, I brought up this Investopedia article. Colin's Crypto saying smash that like button. Guys, if you could, that would be amazing. Thank you for prompting everyone to do that, Colin. You're a legend. Yeah, so breaking down the triple top. Alright, so the 3 consecutive tops make this pattern visually similar to the head and shoulders pattern. So the head and shoulders is, you've got one shoulder, a head, and then another shoulder, and that's a pattern showing you that resistances have been tested 3 times, and each time it's failed. And so it's a very bearish pattern. It's a continuation of a bear trend typically, or it could even be a reversal. The pattern is also very similar to the double top, because in this case it's just a triple top. You're only adding 1 extra top to the mix. The key difference between the double and triple top is that the double top pattern doesn't have enough bearish volume following the second peak. Now there's something very interesting about this. I will touch on it a little bit later, but not in a way you guys will like. Now, as for trading triple top patterns, many traders will enter into a short. I'm reading the wrong thing. I'm sorry. Where is it? Okay, breaking down the triple top. No, I just read this. Yeah, okay, my bad. I didn't really plan this out. We'll enter a short position onto the price of the asset once the price, of the asset falls below the identified support level. So we haven't fallen below any support, fallen, however you say that. We haven't done that for any support level recently. But, the main idea here is, you're going to enter a short position afterwards with a stop loss always, if you're playing BitMEX, or I like to use the word playing because it's at face value, it's quite stupid, especially if you don't know what you're doing. So I do like using the word play, even with all trading, because it's just it makes it, it's like a euphemism. It's a euphemism, you know. A lot of us are miserable right now, so it's nice to use nice words like that. But yeah, so a triple top, very simply, you guys already know, it's a bearish pattern, all right? We've tested the same resistance level 3 times, and each time we have been rejected. There is no coincidence there, guys. I mean, this is a heavy resistance level. A lot of people have been eyeing this, and of course, it just hasn't been breached. So that is quite a significant thing to take note of. You know, with this triple top, it means that the buying power from bulls has been exhausted. They've tried this level 3 times now, and each time the bears have defended it. How much they have is another point to discuss later. But you know, there's also something else very interesting that I did notice here. It could potentially change this entire trend. It's hard to say. I'm personally still sticking to my bearish mentality here, but this thing I did notice is quite significant. I don't think I've ever seen it before, but it has been posted in VIP. Unfortunately, I won't be able to share it here, but guys, if you are interested in VIP, of course, you get all of my signals, you get all of my exits, a bunch of other strategies in this bear market, access to me 24/7, well, when I'm not sleeping, but you know, it's pretty good, so hit me up on Telegram at 4flies if you are interested. Kanda Kumar, your comment has been hidden, but I'll show it because, you know, you say both, it's going up or down. What the fuck, you moron? Yeah, Kanda, you see, the nature of markets is that they can go up or down. I'm telling you guys my bias, and I'm helping you make your own decisions, but if that upsets you, you can just leave. I don't really give a shit. Okay, so that's pretty much, you know, this analysis was short. We've only been going sideways. We had 2 significant price moves, one down and then one up, but apart from that, nothing really interesting has happened today. So with that, guys, I'm just going to quickly take your questions, and this is going to be a bit of a short one, but I'm sure you guys won't mind that. And guys, before I do go into that as well, look, I'm strongly considering putting out a series for technical analysis. So you guys saw, I even mentioned this yesterday, I did one on the Ichimoku cloud, 2, 3, 4 days ago now. And also, you know, I'm considering doing other things. So I've had people ask me about charting, you know, basic charting skills, different things like that. I want to do this, but I need more specific suggestions from you guys. So I can't just do one on charting in general. It's way too specific. I wouldn't even know what to say. But if you could give me something more specific, like maybe drawing trend lines, for example, that's pretty much as basic as it gets. Perfectly fine. Just tell me specifically what you need. You guys already know I read all of these comments. I respond to all of them. And of course, I'm going to note them down right now to make sure that that I am able to put out the content you guys want. So Xavi, hey Mafia, you're great with your effort. Thank you very much. What's up? Looks like head and shoulder pattern. What do you think? Yeah, I mean, it just went over this. Ilium, hello my friend. How you doing? Great. I did 13% on long Bitcoin after small crash. Very nice. Congratulations on that. Will KuCoin shares blow up like Huobi token and Binance coin? Ferenc, KuCoin is having some problems at the moment. They are really losing support and trading volume. It's expected in this kind of a market. Let's actually refresh this and look at the conditions. And yeah, guys, you know, like I always like to comment on volume in these conditions. So what we saw yesterday was a high of about 14 billion. It might have been today, but this is on a day where we have been testing a high in the entire market. So to see the volume dropping while we've been testing these highs is a pretty clear sign to me that this is still a bearish market. You know, alts, again, I mean, everything is still just in the same place it has been for a very long time now. And on this decreasing volume, we're seeing a bit of green, you know, these highs being tested, like I just said. It's not a bullish sign at all. You know, if we're going to be testing 6,800 and we had a volume of like maybe 15, 16 billion, this is a conservative number. Obviously, we should be way above 20 billion if we're bull right now. But if we are going to be testing those numbers, then dipping below 13 is absolutely not on the cards. And it's pretty clear to me. I mean, unless this does turn out to be another market pump situation, where some big guy with big pockets decides to pump the market like over here, really, I mean, we're looking at the same trend. And this is always the caveat I have to say, because you never know when it's going to happen. It's very hard to call this type of thing. It's just that the more we go on with stability, so I mean, this period of stability was pretty big. Let's check it out. It was 3 days, yeah, nearly 4 days. Let's make that 4 days. There we go. Yeah, so I mean, 4 days of just trading within the same channel, what, like a 2.5% difference. The more that happens, what have I done? That's annoying. The more that happens, the more uneasy I get, and the more I expect a big move up or down in this kind of a way. So it's just, you know, if we go on the same way now, I'm going to be expecting the same thing, and I'll be expecting it more and more as we go on. So really, I mean, it would be amazing if we just go back to regular trading, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen anytime soon. Why don't you have some address in your video description? I'd donate a few dollars. Mobius, thank you very much. I might consider that actually, but I think in terms of donations, I'd be much happier if you turn that into profits, and then yeah, and then maybe consider VIP when you're happy with that. No, I really do appreciate that. That's an amazing comment. Thank you so much, Mobius. Your thought is enough, Rhea. Yeah, it's the thought that counts. We're seeing targets of 4,500, very bearish. 4,500, yeah, 5,400. I expect 5k. Yeah, I mean, this is all very possible. Is it really a triple top? They're really just wicks that rather than full tests. Yeah, built by Stu. This is actually something that had me doubting my own TA. And I was thinking maybe these aren't even triple tops. And this is, I'm glad you brought this up. It's important to note. We have tested these firstly on light volume, and secondly, we've only wicked up. So the only way we can see actual candles going above this line is if we switch to the 1 minute chart. Not even the 5 minute chart will tell us the same story. On the 5 minute chart, it's still just wicks testing this 6,800 line. And so maybe it's not possible to class this as a triple top. But guys, just considering the trend and that Bitcoin doesn't follow conventions in terms of time frames, I did decide to say to myself, you know, yeah, this is a triple top. You know, we throw in all the other factors outside of it. So, you know, RSI not being overbought, but, you know, reaching that territory now, I think, let's check out the 1 hour chart. It's about 62, so not very close, but, you know, 70 and above is where it becomes overbought. We've just actually dipped down a little bit now. So, you know, this type of thing, I was confused at first, but I did feel like it is, what's the word? It's sensible to class this as a triple top, given how quickly Bitcoin does move compared to other markets. You know, we go back to this Investopedia article, and let's see, I mean, this triple top formed over the period of literally like 3 months. And these weren't even wicks, so these were actually full candles that closed and then opened at this resistance line, which is nothing like what happened with Bitcoin. So definitely take this TA with a pinch of salt. It's very possible that this isn't the same thing. It's possible that this is just, you know, whatever, it's bots trying to liquidate positions, but I'm still leaning towards saying that this is a triple top when you consider everything else. So I'm seeing some more trolling from Kanda and another guy, Naruto, so I've just gone ahead and banned them both. Don't really want people like that here. What happens to miners if Bitcoin falls below the $6,000 line, which I believe is the cost right now for mining Bitcoin? Correct me if I'm wrong, Mike. Yeah, I went over this in the last stream. So $6,000 at the moment, most miners still in most countries can't can't mine Bitcoin at a profit anymore anyway, but at $6,000, that's where most of them do cut off completely, you know, the few remaining ones, and we're only left with maybe 2 or 3 after that, that can still mine at a profit. But, you know, like I said in the last video, really quickly to just recap, I don't think that's going to influence it. People are still happy to mine at a loss because they know about the future potential of Bitcoin. In the unlikely event that people in countries where they're mining at a loss decide to turn off their ASIC miners and all that stuff and just stop mining for a bit until Bitcoin rises up again, it's very possible. That would be a very big problem for Bitcoin, because that would mean it becomes quite centralized, and centralized in countries where a lot of people might not want it to be. Trying very hard not to come off as racist here, but I think I completely failed, so I'm sorry about that. I think I don't think, you know, miners are going to really be phased by this, because I personally feel like we're going to go much higher than 6,000 in the future. You know, 8,000, 10,000 easily surpass that, and I think a lot of the miners will as well, especially if they've been in the game for a long time. It depends on when, but I still think that people are happy to mine at a loss. Most of them anyway. Retail investors can make it move, but they are afraid to make any moves with the way things have played out. Yeah, Mr. Ryan Toker, that's a funny name. Yeah, no, retail investors certainly can. I mean, we look at, this is the 1 hour chart, and this is just sideways movement. So, you know, I mean, the volume is low as well. So if we get a big pump, you know, CNN or something decides to say that Bitcoin is now the best currency in the world or whatever, it's very possible that retail can pump it. But yeah, I mean, there's just exhaustion in this market. People are leaving this market because it's tiring to see, you know, either Bitcoin not even moving over the period of 24 hours or, you know, the trend has been going down. It's very tiring. We're now 6 months into this bull run. And you can't, you know, actually 7 months, right? Yeah, 7 months into it because Bitcoin reached its all-time high on December the 17th. So, I mean, wow, that's more than half a year. Of course people are tiring out. So, yeah, no, I think that is, yeah, they're just afraid because of how things have played out. Very good points. Sam, check out the Bitcoin shorts for analysis. Nico, thanks for pointing that out. Let's go over to the Bitcoin shorts and see what's going on. So, yeah, they have been liquidated a little bit since yesterday. No, not since yesterday, my bad. Actually, maybe. Yeah, so there's a bit of sideways action and then liquidations down to support. You know, I always say that you can't do TA on Bitcoin shorts and Bitcoin longs, but the more I look at it, the more I feel like you can. Honestly, I mean, it just works every time. So maybe that was me just being closed-minded. I mean, let's just... Yeah, I mean, these lines play out. I mean, I would be careful doing TA on a short and longs chart, but it looks possible. I mean, there wasn't any, you know, nothing... Okay, well, this pump must have... This was at 12 p.m., so let's see when these shorts began to get liquidated. If it was about 12, which I'm guessing it was. Yeah, so it's about 12 when these shorts began to get liquidated. Well, it looks like shorts are at a support now. So, yeah, I think even that lines up with Bitcoin going down. So let's check out the longs now. And longs piling on a little bit. TA on these longs are... This reminds me of like an XMR chart or something. I mean, you could call that resistance if you want. But yeah, I don't think TA applies to this longs chart as much as it does for shorts. Do you guys see the triple bottom holds well, plus huge bull flag on Bitcoin? Expect breakout upwards next week, going parabolic to $8,000. Nito, $8,000 wouldn't be parabolic from here, unfortunately. But no, I see what you mean. If you're talking about this entire trend being a massive bull flag, I've already went over this at length. I firmly believe it. Even if we go down to like 3,000 or 4,000, we're still in a big bull flag. So yes, I see what you mean there, and I completely agree with you. As for next week, I'm gonna hold back on that. I'm taking this by the day even now. Been saying it every day. It's too unpredictable to say what's gonna happen 1 week from now when we know just any day someone can decide to pump the market whichever way they like or dump it. But you mentioned, you know, the triple bottom holds well. I don't think it has, man. You know, let's go back to this daily chart. I mean, we bounced off this bottom about here. You know, this is where we began to bounce off 13th and 14th of June. And really, the volume wasn't huge. I mean, the volume on our dumps were bigger. And if this is a triple bottom, this bounce should have been bigger than every single one of these. Yeah, I mean, I say every single one like there's 10, but I mean than the prior 2 bounces, and it wasn't. I mean, this was the lowest volume bounce, wasn't it? Yeah, so, I mean, yeah, it was the lowest volume bounce we've had so far. Maybe this is part of the triple bottom, I don't know. It's still very possible that something snaps and we get huge volume buys and we break every resistance line and we end up on the moon by August or whatever. You know, I'm not ruling it out, but I mean, if we have seen a triple bottom, I'm not putting my money on that. I just don't think it's gonna hold. Doesn't phase me, the price is low, just give me more time to acquire more coins. Yeah, Mobius, this is a good mentality. I mean, if you believe the market is going to go up after this, and I definitely do, then these low prices are nothing but a chance to accumulate. It's, for me, you know, I'm shorting Bitcoin, not because I don't like Bitcoin, it's because I want more Bitcoin for when we go up. And you better believe when we go bull, I'm going to be longing this 10x every time, you know, 5x. And I'll make 5 times the profits that retail investors will. Because, you know, because I'm looking out for what I'm doing. Thanks for taking the time to share your perspective. People should appreciate it. Let's hope we break through soon. Yeah, thank you very much, Larkin, if that's your name. Yeah, no, I really do appreciate that, and let's hope we do break through soon. 7100, then down again, Daniel. Yeah, Daniel Larson, I think that's possible. Yeah, I mean, I called it a few days ago where we could range up to 7,000, 7,100, 200, maybe 800, but I wasn't looking at that level too much. It's possible that we rally up to 71 and then go down. But I just, I feel like since we've had this rejection, this resistance being tested 3 times and each time failing, it makes me feel less and less that we are actually going to go up from here, even a little bit. I think there's a cup and handle formation on the 4-hour chart. If real, then it will probably complete next week. Okay, that's really interesting. So let's check out, what have I done? 4-hour chart. Oh yeah, I see that if you're talking about this, this is a kind of short-term cup and handle. I think usually they play out over weeks and months. It's possible that we get a smaller cup and, I mean, yeah, but you could say the same thing about this trend, going from, where is this, the 23rd of May up to the 3rd of June, this was also a cup, and then this was forming the handle, and we just broke down. So, it's a good observation, definitely. If you are maybe I'm wrong, but if you are talking about this, I don't know, I wouldn't place much faith in that, unfortunately. It's still possible, though. Let's not rule anything out and say it's definitely not going to happen. And that reminds me, none of this is investment advice, none of this is financial advice, I'm not a professional, all that stuff, have to cover these legal things. I suspect bots use Bitcoin shorts for analysis, lots of shorts, bang, here comes a pump. Built by Stu, yeah, that is exactly what happens. Bots, high-frequency trading bots, are doing exactly that. They want to create liquidity pools for themselves. And the way to do that is to liquidate shorts and longs. So, yeah, no, I think that's exactly what they're doing. As long as Bitcoin is above 6,500, I remain bullish. Yeah, Nito, I mean, 6,500 is a crucial level. I mean, I had this rising wedge drawn out. I mean, I've kind of just countered your point by saying this is a rising wedge, but either way, even any time it's above this line, which, yeah, at the moment would be 6,500, it's a good sign. If we break below 6,500 right now, as we continue on, this rising wedge obviously rises and the levels become higher. But guys, like I said, when we started this rising wedge around the beginning, I pointed out, this is going to last somewhere between 75% and 60. Did I say that right? Yeah, 75% and 66%. It's going to be around about there where we break down. That's just a typical sort of charting pattern, which I read in a book. So it would look something like this probably. Maybe, I don't know, I probably drew this completely wrong, but, an area like this, I'm going to leave this boxer, actually, that looks pretty cool. If we do fall into this area and then break down, I'm going to look like the smartest guy ever in this space, but, yeah, no, this does look very possible, so we range sideways, maybe we dip a little bit, we bot back up, anything. Yeah, but once this line does get breached, it's very obvious, especially if it gets breached with volume like it did previously. If most of us believe in crypto in the long term, then short term is irrelevant, isn't it? It's so hard, I think, to predict short-term movement. Mike, I mean, I've been trading these short-term movements. I don't think it's... It takes skill, it takes learning, of course, but... yeah, I'm just not going to comment on that now. I feel like I'm going to make myself look like a humble brag. But yeah, no, if you believe in the long term, I mean, this is the thing, like, it depends what kind of long term you're talking about, because a few days ago, someone said something about 10 years, and my response was, I don't even know if, 10, 20, 50 years, whatever, I said it in our lifetimes, I think Bitcoin will become irrelevant, and that could very well mean in 10 years, I mean, look at what happened 10 years now, I mean, 10 years from now, before, compared to today. I mean, it's just a completely different world. And 10 years from now, you just can't predict these things. It drives me crazy that people try to do that. But yeah, I mean, if your long term to you means 1 or 2 years, like it does for me, I mean, 1 year is a massive period of time. then yeah, I completely agree with you. The short term doesn't really matter, but if you want to be making profits in the short term anyway, then you're in the right place. Why not just hodl is the real question. Thick skin and check back again in 18 months. I mean, yeah, because you want to make more between now and that 18-month period. But also, for a lot more people, it's just that they've lost so much money, and it's kind of become like an unhealthy addiction to keep on checking Bitcoin's price. So maybe it's not even something that they feel like they have a choice over. They just wake up and they check Coinbase every day. I'm describing myself. But you know, I think that's just, you know, a lot of people here, especially probably, either you guys want to make profits now during this time, or you're just obsessed with checking the price because you've lost and you want to go back up. Either way is fine. I mean, it's not healthy, but it's all right. Take a guess when Bitcoin over 10K. Alexi, I'm thinking Bitcoin will breach 10,000 by August. August is the month where, you know, July has been bullish last year, bearish, sorry. June was bullish, and that's definitely not happened. Last year I'm talking about, but August is where it really kicked off. So I am looking at August to at least start some sort of a bull market. If it doesn't happen by then, that's going to be kind of annoying, but, you know, August 10K, November, October by the absolute latest. But these are just wild guesses. I mean, I'm not sticking to this. You can't hold me to this. Like I say, I'm only taking this by the day. You're waiting for high volume to confirm 3 bottom confirmation. What kind of volume are you thinking about? Just a really good question there. So, yeah, I mean, let's recap real quick. So this triple bottom, I've already talked about it at length. So we've got one bottom here, a second, a third. Each time prior to now, we've bounced. And we bounced with volume. So, what kind of volume am I looking for? I mean, I want to see, it depends how much volume we go down with. So if we slowly grind down to, you know, $6,100 or $6,000, maybe 58, 59, but we go down at this volume or potentially lower, then my target for volume on the bounce would be, you know, 20 billion, 25, 30 is really pushing it. But, you know, if we go down with bigger volume, if we end up going down with an average volume of, say, 15 billion per day, then I'm going to be looking at a bounce maybe of 25 or 30, you know, really high numbers, because it doesn't count if, you know, only 2 people have agreed on the price with $12 billion orders each. I don't know, that's just such a weird example, but, you know, you get my point. It doesn't make sense if there's no agreement that we've hit a triple bottom. It's just that, you know, a few people have decided it and they've pumped it with like $1 million, and then nothing happens. So I want to see wide scale agreement on this. I want to see a big change in sentiment, and that's all going to happen on the day if it does. So you know, hard to call that. What about Golem? Not looking at alts right now, man. Look, all alts are going to keep on following Bitcoin as they have been. Alright, I mean, Bitcoin has moved by 0.34%, and everything else has either gone down by up to 5%. And guys, bear in mind, you know, these coins going down, maybe, you know, 3% Bitcoin Diamond, as if anyone cares about it anyway, but, you know, 3% on Steam, 2% on Verge. You know, okay, 2% loss in one day isn't bad. I agree with you, but 2% over 10 days, every day getting a 2% loss is a very big deal. I mean, this past week, I don't think I've lost anything in Bitcoin. Really, I mean, I'm only really holding one alt, if I remember correctly, and that alt has been completely sideways, which I'm quite happy with. So, I'm not about that lost life, you know. Like I said before, it's very hard to recover from a loss. And alts are going to keep on giving you losses if Bitcoin continues to go down. What is your year-end prediction on Bitcoin? Again, Nito, it's the same thing. I have no idea. You cannot predict these things. But like I said, you know, 10,000 I'm expecting by August, October, November. So let's say 10,000 by December. But I'm not, you know, don't hold me to that. I'm not sticking to that at all. We going down. You know, that just reminds me about XX. RIP to XX. He made some good music, despite all the bad stuff he did. like with his assault. People can change, so really, really sad to hear about that. I did play one of his songs in one of my streams. I was like, Bitcoin is going down, and at the start of the song, I was playing his song titled "Going Down." Yeah, that's sad. I have a full-time job, so really finding it difficult to trade, Giza. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to work around the clock for trading because you don't really get many hours to do it, plus the stress and all that, I get you. But Giza, I mean, it's helped so many people I know quit their 9-to-5s and become financially independent. I'd argue it's a fairly stupid thing to do because it's very volatile, but you know, if you've got whatever, like 2 years worth of savings locked up in the bank in fiat, you know, which you could live on if Bitcoin suddenly goes to zero, then you're good. But until you get to that point, you know, it's not easy to say you should quit your job. But no, I understand your stress. Like I said, I haven't even been going to school. I mean, exams are finished anyway, so there's no point, but you know how they have stupid policies. Made good short and long entries, perfect option today. Some way will trigger, right? I mean, if you've gone short and long at the same time, you're probably going to get screwed. Because you might hit your liquidation price on the short by going up, and then suddenly there's a big dump. So, not a good idea, but it depends on your leverage. I mean, either way, you're not going to make profits overall. Just theoretically, it doesn't work. But maybe if that's what you said, maybe you'll realize that in good time. This market is a gold mine to those that can hit it full time. I mean, there's a risk, you know, if you look at this full time, you get a bit too obsessed with it, you overanalyze things. But, you know, if you've got years of experience, or 1 year in crypto is equivalent to many years in real life, I mean, in stocks and all that, which is what I've got, not in stocks, but a year in crypto. A bit more now. I think it's been like a year and 10 days since I started, something like that. Breaking 68 would be very bullish, right? Because of the false breakout. Karma, yeah, it would. It would be extremely bullish, but only if we break it with volume. So, you know, we've got this triple top. If we defy that by breaking it now, that's an extremely bullish sign. That would completely change my sentiment. But if it happens on, you know, pathetic 12 billion volume, I'm not even going to blink at that, and I'm just going to short it. Because it doesn't really mean anything if there's no agreement in that. The enthusiasm for Bitcoin is not there compared to 2017. People want Lambos. That hasn't changed. I mean, yeah, people want Lambos and all that, but I think it has changed because now it's more about recouping their losses. But yeah, look, this is the thing. I mean, Bitcoin needs wide-scale enthusiasm. Bitcoin needs FOMO, right? People who are buying Bitcoin a lot of the time didn't even understand it. They just FOMO'd in. Fear of missing out. So we need that to happen again. And like I've said previously, for that FOMO to kick in, what's going to need to happen is people like you and I making profits now and making big profits. So I'm talking, you know, when we get a 2x within the space of like 3 months, and it's going to happen, not financial advice. When that happens, though, that's when it's going to start hitting the news outlets. It's going to start hitting mainstream media. People like John McAfee will be talking about Bitcoin in their presidential primary speeches. We had Dennis Rodman wearing a Potcoin shirt at the Singapore summit a couple days ago, maybe last week. You know, we need more mainstream exposure like that, and it's when we start making profits that other people will FOMO in. And that is only going to happen, I think, when the manipulators are ready for it, if they ever are. Because there is a good chance that market makers want Bitcoin to stay low, because it's in these kind of conditions where they can trade with their bots to make consistent, reliable profits. But they can't hold it back. If there is some sort of natural, organic catalyst that sends Bitcoin flying up, if that is the case, they're not going to stop it. So we do just have to wait on that. Your thoughts about the mempool? From what I've heard, it's pretty clogged up right now, if that's right. I don't know. Eric, where is my channel? You're on my channel right now? It's Full Flies? Oh, you mean my Telegram channel, right? Yeah, it's in the description. We'll be frothing from the mouth again when that happens. Yeah, look, I mean, Chris, if you log that market, that's going to be pretty cool. Rationality is not always the best in crypto. Have you ever made some crazy irrational bet that gave you big gains? Have I? No, I've had pretty bad experience with betting, even in crypto. um, no, rationality isn't the best, but if you stay rational and look at it from an outsider's point of view, and you understand how the crypto community thinks, that kind of rationality I think is amazing for the crypto market. The investment in Bitcoin has already made strong support. I'm not sure I'm seeing that. Pokey Poke, I don't know if the main pool is clogged up or not. I haven't checked it very recently. When I saw it last time, which was maybe a week or two ago, it was pretty high, I think, or it was... I have no idea, actually. If one of you could check and let me know. But yeah, guys, with that, I've covered everything I wanted to. I've answered a lot of your questions. If you guys have more, you can always hit me up in Telegram. And on that note, of course, if you guys are not in my Telegram channel, definitely make sure to hit up that link in the description, t.me/CryptoMafiaGold. And of course, if you're not already subscribed to this channel, go ahead and subscribe, tick the bell so you don't miss out on my uploads and my live streams, all that good stuff. Of course, I do let you guys know when I'm going live, and again, big shout out to those 13 or 15 people waiting before we went live to actually catch this stream right from the beginning. That's a pretty big sign of respect, which I really do appreciate. I don't take this for granted, guys. I've been getting so much amazing feedback from you, saying things like, I bring an honest view to the market. I mean, one VIP member just absolutely blew me away with this feedback today. It's so valuable to me. I can't take this for granted, because I think it's been like 10 years I've been doing YouTube. Never had support like this before. So really do appreciate it, guys. Smash the fucking like button. Yeah, Javi, I mean, one last time, guys, if you could. Really, it does mean a lot. 18,000 subscribers. I thought it was no. The amount of times I've considered quitting YouTube. That's a video for another day, though. But alright, guys, thank you very much for tuning in today. I hope you have found some substance from it. I hope it has helped you out. But with that, I'm going to see you in the next stream. Peace.